Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the B-E-S-T.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Welcome back to Down on the Mat podcast here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. To my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Roddy Reese. I nearly said right. Route. I am Booker Ted, and we're here to talk about Money in the Bank that just finished in Toronto, and also talk about that facial hair on Rowdy's face. Look at that.
What?
Mate,
I like it growing in. I like it. Not too bad, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit ashamed that I didn't realise until you pointed it out when we sat down. But, you know, it's good,
It's
man.
very light. It's very light.
That's all right. It'll go okay. I mean, I'm a bit biased on these things, but...
You're the expert,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
you're the stash expert
Well,
here.
I think the Stash Club boys are the experts.
Doesn't
valid.
only one of them have a moustache, though?
No,
Like a proper one?
well, yeah, because Dante generally grows a beard out.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but that's cheating. How can you call yourself Stash Club if you've got a full beard? You've got to go the Stash or nothing, man.
Fix your
Valid
shit,
point.
mate.
Fix your shit. Anyway, we're here to talk about Money in the Bank. You boys have just finished watching it and watched a bit of the press conference. I was lucky enough to watch it live this morning. And I think we all have very differing views on the pay-per-view
We do.
in general.
We do.
First of all, I know you've already said that a friend of yours was asking you the same questions, but you weren't watching live about the broadcast because anyone who was watching it, there was some really bad technical issues where the sound just completely disappeared from the promo package for Seth and Damien before the main card actually started.
yeah. And so that wasn't just KO. That was a proper...
It must. Oh, I was watching on KO.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it was their broadcast because it was like their sound that was changing.
okay.
So, for example, there was no sound. Then there was sound, but it was really quiet. So you had to try and turn it up. But then they had two different audios going, so you could hear what was going on inside the arena. So they went back to the panel of Big E and
Wade and Jackie Redmond.
Jackie Redmond and Wade, and you could hear them introducing Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Samantha Irvin coming into the ring, which obviously you don't normally see on the broadcast. You only see it if you're in the
In
arena.
the stadium. Yeah.
Well, luckily it was only the pre-show.
Yes, exactly. So they figured it out after that.
They did also, though, say a couple of times during the show that Corey couldn't hear Michael, and then Michael dropped Corey towards the end of the thing too. I know that in the main event it was because they took out the table supposedly.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
reckon,
I think
they
he got
had sound
unplugged.
problems all night.
But there was, I think, in a few of the matches, there were times when, especially with the entrances, the cameras didn't quite seem to match up to what was going on.
It was a very Kevin Dunn-like production today. 'Cause
Yeah.
It wasn't until Dan pointed it out
Yeah,
that
I'm
I
sorry.
noticed there were a lot of quick camera cuts like
There was a few.
Kevin Dunn used.
I was more thinking of the fact because, for example, when Drew came in for his match, they put the camera that was sort of looking at the entranceway, but he was right down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, like already near the ring, and we were just looking at the screen with all the ladders and everything, and I thought, what's going on? Like, they just seemed to be a bit out of time.
I did say to Reese too, I much preferred the look of the stage. I know it was just the same screens, but because it had the ladders around it, it just looked better.
Yeah.
And I really don't like when they do the PLEs with nothing in terms of the presentation of what the PLA is.
Like, I know we've got giant LED screens there to like put graphics and stuff on, but bring it back to the Backlash days where you used to have the swinging hooks in the entrance ramp, man.
Well, what's the next? We've got SummerSlam. I mean, maybe.
They'll have like a bald eagle actually on the stage, just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Just broke
for that.
Just broke the fucking sound. Oh my god!
Apologies for everyone
That was
listening.
beautiful, by the way, man. Were you a bald eagle in a past life?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a bald joke?
What the fuck is a kilometer?
Look, before we get into the matches, and I know you guys have a lot that you want to talk about with them, there's a couple of things I actually want to criticize that's not to do with
Okay,
the wrestling.
please do.
Before we get into it.
Please do.
Because this was at the start.
Yep.
Okay. Trish hosting, absolutely no problem with that. She's a legend.
Yep.
Sure.
And for a woman who's 50 years old, goddamn, right?
Yep. No, agreed. Yep.
Every time she comes in, I'm just like, there's no way that woman is 50, but she is.
You know,
so-
she's like her right now. Trish Stratus. We all saw what she looked like on that pay-per-view.
Are you going to say something about she's the same age as Mae Young when we were...
She's the same age as the Golden Girls when the Golden Girls TV show started.
Wow. Well, that's a...
How's that for some context?
Yeah, okay.
Hey?
That really screws with the concept
That's,
of time. There you go.
Like
Plastic
That's
surgery has
epic.
come a long way.
J-Lo is older than the Golden Girls.
Jeez. Okay.
That's crazy.
Mate, 50's the new 20. So anyway, my biggest criticism, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or not because you may have skipped over it. I don't know. But where was the pay-per-view?
It's in Toronto, in Canada.
Which is in Canada.
Yes.
Why did we have the American national anthem?
It's the
first
4th of
all?
July weekend.
I don't care.
That's exactly why they wanted
care.
to do the whiteout thing, because that's a very American tradition.
Right.
yes.
But they're in Canada. Okay, so next thing, they did that. Smith Irvin, beautiful voice, by the way. I have no
So
problem.
you're
with her.
Australian,
The
you
anthem?
fucking
She
cares.
sang it.
Oh,
Yep.
well, we didn't say that
Sung
part.
it.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
Didn't look like
We
it,
caught
but-
the
Now-
like final 5 seconds of
Yeah,
it.
but then you saw the Canadian one, right?
Of Brave was all we heard.
yeah, but you saw the Canadian one then, right? They
No,
did-
we
they-
skip past that.
Well, they did the Canadian one after.
No, we saw some Rory
dude.
dude in a suit came out
Correct.
and sang it. Yeah.
Now, the difference is, with the American one, they had the music and the trumpets and everything else. For the Canadian anthem,
Just the
it
boy
was
dude.
just old mate singing. And I'm like, this is literally just America doing the whole, we're better than you, Canada. We're gonna do your anthem, but we're gonna do ours better because we don't believe you're a real country. I was just like, what the hell?
I was-
How
I
do you
have-
open a
I
show
have-
like that?
Zero problem, and I have zero fucks.
You
I was just
are
mostly
brown nosing the
disappointed.
Yanks, aren't you?
No, I just give a shit.
It was in Toronto.
They are an American product, so it makes sense for them to prioritize their
Yeah,
own
but
shtick
also
before everyone else's.
they've
Did
ne-
they do the French national anthem when they were over in
They didn't do
France?
the American one though.
Exactly.
They haven't done that one anywhere else but in
It was
Canada.
because
Why
it
would you
was
do it in Canada?
July the
Independence
4th
Day.
weekend. Independence Day
So
weekend.
don't have your show in Canada. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's their own problem.
All I'm saying.
I was just mostly disappointed, and I said this to Reese. We were watching when they tried to get how they normally get like the celebrities and stuff to sort of pump up the crowd and stuff around the first rows, and they show the famous people. There was no shots of Drake. There was nothing about Drake in Toronto, and I'm a little disappointed.
I wonder why.
Well, it's a family product. There's lots of kids around.
Well, that's one way to get demonetized. You gotta be monetized. You gotta be monetized.
Thank
to be
you for tuning
demonetized,
into the
don't you?
last ever episode of the Dudham podcast.
Thank you for joining us. Well, no, I get you. I get you.
you got my
But
point,
yeah,
no?
okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it was a funny joke too.
I thought I'd switch
appreciate
to the
that.
fences with that one.
Oh, jeez, that's what we're swinging for. That's my main criticism. Was that I just
was
thought,
the
why are
anthems.
we singing that? Idiot. Anyway,
Okay.
so obviously the first match, and I think we all agreed on this that when this was announced, we probably all thought the same thing.
It's telegraphed the later
Yeah,
match,
the rest of the show. So we had the men's Money in the Bank.
Yep.
To open the show.
Do you have the times and everything?
I do. I
perfect.
have them here.
Sick.
So what was interesting? So obviously, just a reminder at home, we had Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Now, the couple of things I want to talk about with the entrances with this, first of all, are you checking Supercoach while we're recording?
Maybe.
I just caught him. That's it.
You super
Oh
coach
man, we're gonna have to.
flops.
I'm not going to check any of the Raiders scores because that starts now. We can watch
Dude,
it
if you
later.
do that,
I'm not going to spoil it for you. I
Don't
promise.
spoil it. Don't spoil my Raiders.
Go the
our
Knights.
Raiders getting flogged again.
Go the Knights.
So
Yeah, they're gonna get flopped for
Jay
sure.
obviously got his big entrance because he's on the poster and Yeet case and everything else. But the crowd really wasn't into it as much as usual.
I said this to Reese when he first walked out. I don't like the crowd shot of the camera walking through to Jay because I can't stand those kind of idiot fans that'll be like, "Look at me, I'm on TV." I hate them.
That's America. Well, they're in
100%.
Canada. Sorry, I should apologize to America. They're in Canada.
But
so-
I hate that portion of it and this portion of it where he
For
comes
anyone
through
watching the
back.
video, getting filmed, me getting
Yeah.
filmed.
The wide shot of the crowd with the fireflies and everyone doing this, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
Come through
that's-
the crowd and have
that's a
that
great
shot.
look.
But yeah, just every time when they get the fans yelling and stuff, because it's not always. This shot was pretty clear to me. Was the 2 or 3 people that I caught doing it were us.
Yeah.
It was the 35-year-old dudes that were there with their kids. They're the ones on the camera yelling and screaming. I don't
Yeah.
want to see you at all. If that's a crowd shot, show me the 10-year-old kids that are super excited to see Jay.
Yeah.
Show me all of the children that are pumped for it. Fuck off, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you on that one. I thought that was a bit cringe. It's been done already a couple of times in quick succession. Like Sammy's already obviously done that at other shows.
But I feel like Sammy's was done so well because he just like walked through the entire arena
yes,
to get to the ring.
this
Whereas
was
with
just
this
a
one.
bit, yeah.
The one on SmackDown was just absolute chaos because there
Yes.
were like 3 times the amount of people.
Yeah.
You'd see person and then you'd see him run past and then get in the shot again and then run back and get in the shot the 3rd time.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, but look, I don't think they got the full reaction they wanted to for Jay, as they usually get. They didn't seem quite as, and everyone had their phones up, as you said. There was a lot of phones up recording instead. LA Knight got the LA Knight.
I'm only doing this so I can check my Supercoach
Yeah,
score.
please. LA Knight got the normal response he gets, and obviously Andrade, crowd went mild, etc., etc.
I like his entrance though.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good entrance.
So-
And he's great in the ring, but it's just like
Before we talk about the
we
match,
need
and
some more
everything,
story for him.
Yeah, a lot of people online are already saying that WWE are fumbling Andrade like AEW did. Do we agree? Is he not being utilized properly?
Well, I think the problem
Mate,
is
he was on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think the problem is that I think they are utilizing him now by putting him in this match.
'Cause he's in
when
the
we get
mid-card
into
where he
it,
should
when we
be.
get into it, him and Mello, I
Oh,
think
some of those
came
spots
out
are
of
great,
this
yeah.
better than anyone else, and for good reason because they were the ones who took the hits and did the moves, which is exactly why they were put in there.
Yep.
So I do agree. The only thing I found with Andrade is when his music hits. Next time you listen to it, you tell me whether or not you think it's pirate music.
Oh, I can definitely.
It seems like pirate music. I'm like, is he supposed to swing in like old mate, the pirate that used to? Like,
Is he going to tag team with Kairi Sane?
Yeah, I
So-
don't know. It just seems like I think he needs a new bit of music. That's all. But if we jump into the match, because the other entrances weren't really that important.
Drew was last as
Exactly.
expected.
But the match itself, I thought was absolutely awesome. A great way to open the show. It was a typical Money in the Bank match. It's what you expect. Everyone had their highlights in the match and their spots. Chad Gable looking awesome as usual with all these German
Mate,
suplexes.
Chad
German suplexing the ladder.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant.
Top notch, mate.
That
Top
was so
notch.
good.
But Mello and Andrade, I think, really stole the show.
That Spanish fly onto
Dude,
the ladder.
that was incredible. And also Mello doing his leg drop
Mello don't miss.
off the rope onto Chad, who was holding Drew in an armbar, if I remember rightly. I think I got that right.
Yeah.
No,
he had Drew in an armbar on top of the ladder, and he was hanging down.
No, that
and
was
then-
Andrade did like a flipping leg drop.
No,
No,
it was
no,
Mello.
it was Mello. He did
It was
a
like
leg
a
drop off
it was
the
like a
rope.
clothesline type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He then hit Mello don't miss on Drew afterwards.
Correct,
The other
yeah.
side of the ladder.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But this match, how long do you think it went for?
18 minutes.
21:37.
It was 16 and a half minutes. And obviously that doesn't include entrances. So once you
Yeah.
add entrances, then
Yeah.
obviously it's closer to like half an hour.
Yeah, there was a lot of people walking.
Jey Uso's entrance was way too long, dude.
Yeah, it went forever.
He got in the ring and then I was just like, I was sitting there and I was just like, come on, hurry
on
up,
with it.
hurry up.
So
I was the same.
I've already had this sort of chat to you boys a little bit. My issue with this match, I loved in-ring. I think they had all of the good spots, the way they set up all the different ladders. I was waiting who's going through that ladder on the outside across the announce table.
The
Like,
rule
that
is
spot-
whoever sets it up, man. That's the rule. Whoever sets up
Yeah.
the table or the
Well,
ladder goes
it's generally
through it.
pretty true.
LA set it up and he
LA
was the
did.
one that went through.
And
All
we
of
see
those
it later
spots
on as well.
All those spots were great. We'll talk about all the spots more if we want to. My problem with this match was the way that they had set everything up, storyline wise, for who was in this match. There was Chad Gable, and he has been chased by the Wyatt Six for 3 weeks now, and everything that he's done, including qualifying for this match, was interfered with by the Wyatt Six. Where were they?
Yep.
Logan Paul has been chasing around with LA Knight for weeks, interfering with each other. He's in his house and this, that, and the other. Where was Logan Paul?
Yep.
CM Punk has been talking about doing whatever it takes to stop Drew getting the title. Where was CM Punk?
Yep.
Well, we'll have an answer to that
single,
later.
but every single storyline. And now,
Yeah.
how do you go to Raw and explain that the Wyatt Six had nothing to do with Chad Gable in the biggest match that he could have possibly? They've been trying to stop him for weeks.
maybe it was because, WWE made a deal with Canada that they'd let in Jacob Fatu, but then the White Six couldn't come or something. I don't know. Because apparently there was issues with him crossing
that's
the border
horrible.
and they
Yeah.
had to get involved. So
Well, I mean, Jey Uso said he was just glad he got to Canada too.
Yeah.
But that's my problem with this. Is that this is the kind of
Yeah.
opportunity where you're gonna have a balls to the wall crazy match, ladder spots literally everywhere. You can throw in the Wyatts, you can throw in Logan Paul, you can have these crazy things to take people out of the match,
yep.
and they just didn't do it.
Yeah. No, but I get you.
I think that's us as marks. We all expected something to
Oh,
happen, and I
overbooking
feel
it,
like
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why they didn't do anything. Because
Correct.
everyone expected it to be overbooked. to
And
shit.
we think that every time.
Yeah.
And then I think this is what Triple H is purposely doing now. And I know we've done the same thing with our predictions for pay-per-views previously where we've booked it and it sounded awesome and then literally nothing happens. They just have a singles match and someone wins. And we go, what the hell? And I think they
our own
do
problem.
these storylines
Yeah.
purposely so that you anticipate that something's going to happen. And in this case, as you said, there's all these different storylines. And literally at one point I was sitting there thinking, is Logan going to be the one to get involved? Or is it going to be
Yeah.
like a returning Jimmy that's going to be involved with Jay? Is it going to be CM Punk? So it leaves you with all these options of what might happen.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I think we all assumed and telegraphed what was going to happen with the fact that Drew won. Drew got the briefcase. I didn't
The
have a problem with
briefcase.
finish. Yeah, the briefcase.
The briefcase. There it is.
Got him in the bank. Yo!
Do you know what? Reese is going to hold that briefcase longer than Drew does.
Yes, that's very true. You've probably,
just sit
you've
here
probably
like-
already
like
held
this
it
for the
longer.
rest of the show.
You've probably already held it longer. It needs a little bit of decoration, I think, though. We might need to talk to the other winner about that, which I won't say
Yeah,
yet. but
okay. Yeah, we can get it.
Do I have to put a blonde wig on?
Yes,
Yes.
and we'll buy you a bra.
And can you do a really pretty moonsault for me?
Yeah, the prettiest too. The prettiest.
I can like...
All right. Well, look, that's what you did well. That's one way to kick off a Money in the Bank match is with a Money in the Bank match. I really enjoyed it. Did you at least enjoy it, Reese, or were you
No,
not?
I
happy
thought it
with
was
in
good.
the
It
end?
was just like... I feel like it's a wasted Money in the Bank briefcase. Like...
Well, we're not at that part yet.
Yeah, but let's just
We're
skip
not
to
at
it.
No, go straight to it.
Okay,
let's go straight to
All
it.
right, so Drew won, and if we skip the other match, because there was only one match in between, and then another bit we'll talk about, which we'll talk about a lot more. Damien obviously versus Seth, and we had a really cool interaction backstage between Damien and Finn, where Damien was in the room with Judgment Day, who
In the
were all
Judgment
there
Den.
in gear, ready not to perform. They were just playing the PlayStation as usual, or Xbox, whichever one it was.
I didn't see any nuggets though. That's
No
disappointing.
nugs.
Poor Dom's
And,
hungry. That's because Liv's not there to cook
Exactly, to
Yeah.
get him all his nugs. And obviously we had that interaction with Damien being like, you guys get it, right? You get it, you're not helping me, I'm doing this my own, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He leaves, and then we
Alright,
had that
boss.
close-up of Finn with that look on his face of, yeah, okay, boss. Which is obviously teasing that we're going to go towards a Damien versus Finn and the breakup of Judgment Day, which I'm super excited for.
I don't think break up. I think they're just going to kick Damien out.
I think it might be a bit more complicated than that. I think that might be why there's a Carlito there. I know that's a little bit...
Because of the backstabber? Or is it because it's not cool?
No, because he'll team up with Damien, I would assume.
Is it because they're Latino?
No,
Yeah.
that's racist.
Racist as shit.
No, not at all. But he's there for part of that for sure.
Yeah.
They had a great match though.
Oh, fantastic! Seth versus
Damien and
Damien
Seth
was
was
an
great.
absolutely banger of a
And
match.
Seth looked fantastic in the ring.
Yeah. There were the Undertaker chants that were happening mid-match.
Yeah, I had a bit of a laugh, and I was like, yeah, okay, but
was
they
fun.
didn't let
That
it
was
distract them, and they just got on with it.
Yeah.
But I think it was just a good match. It was just a good back and forth title match. Obviously, the main talking point that a lot of people, and they were talking about it in the press conference afterwards with questions to Triple H, was about
The
that
spot.
false finish with Seth and Damien, where Damien appeared to not kick out, and the ref just stopped counting.
Oh, look.
And I think we
So many theories going on around that.
Yeah.
And like,
I think we all agree it was mainly because the music was supposed to hit.
yeah,
Potentially.
we assume in our expert opinion that expert opinion.
Let me put my expert hat on.
It is. It's on.
It is. I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we assume that the music cue was meant to hit a little sooner, and then that would like distract the ref, distract Seth. He'd fall out of the pin, whatever. Like we don't know. We don't know what happened. Triple H tried to play it off like the ref saw something in the ring that nobody else saw. I think it was very, very, very clear that Damien did not kick out because he was expecting something to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it back, he's looking down the ramp.
He is pissed too.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
at
looked
the end
fuming
of the
after that
match, and obviously, it led to exactly what we wanted with Punk screwing over Drew again.
Here's my issue.
Uh-oh.
Here's what I wanted
Uh-oh.
to talk about when we talked about Drew winning. I feel like it is a wasted Money in the Bank briefcase.
Of course it
And we
is.
now have 12 to 18 to 24 months potentially of no Money in the Bank cash-ins.
Yep.
And it's just shit. I would have preferred CM Punk come out and screw Drew out of the briefcase because I don't see how that's any different to what was done.
Okay.
Because both of
Yeah,
those,
no,
both
there definitely is a difference.
avenues screw Drew out of title or title opportunity.
Yep.
It could have just been screwing him out of the briefcase.
I think we discussed this on our pre-show, our tips for it. If it's not Drew that won that match, who else wins and who else cashes in?
Yep.
you have 12 months to plan that.
Jay, I'm not buying Jay cashing
No,
in anymore.
no,
I'm not buying
we've
LA
said that
cashing
once.
in. I'm not buying Andrade. I'm not buying
Gable. Master Gable in the bank.
Look, as much as I would have loved Master in the Bank, I'm not picturing, unless the one story was what you floated to me, was that
Finally
if
cashes
Gunther
in.
wins the world title and then gets it, and the only way
And
Gable,
Chad. Well,
the only way
could have been
Gable-
good.
That would have been.
that's it. That was
fire.
the only
I think,
story.
I think though that we've gone from feast to famine is the way I look at it, right? So we just went that whole last year of everyone complaining,
was too
Damien's
long.
not cashing in, he's stupid.
yeah.
And now we've got the opposite where it's just gone. Like there's no option. Whoever's got the championship has got the championship unless they're wrestling in a match. There's no need to explain away why someone hasn't cashed in. Because I think what we're looking at now, and so much more so than what they used to do in the past, it's all about merchandising the company, who's holding it, why they're holding it, etc.
Yeah.
So you know, I get what you're saying. I think it's added more to that CM Punk Drew story. I have no problem with it because when Punk and Drew get in that
That's now
ring,
three
it is
times.
going to be some bad blood in that ring when they
It is now
finally
3
face each other.
times that CM Punk has cost Drew a
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
And you know for a fact that when they meet, and I'm already putting my prediction out there, Drew's going to beat the crap out of CM Punk and leave him bloody in the ring.
Yes.
That's my prediction. Because Punk has done so much to screw him over. It is just ridiculous.
Maybe we
that
will
you
get
can't
that
have
Hell
it.
in a Cell match.
Maybe you will.
straight
Maybe
away.
you will. Unsanctioned match, maybe. They haven't used that for a while. So I actually don't mind it. I get what you're saying.
I don't think it's just this situation either, because I feel like in the past when they've had same night cash-ins, I've just never been a fan of it because I
'cause your boy
like having
Kane.
that briefcase around and then
Yeah.
like thinking, oh, they're going to do it now. Oh,
This though goes more into Drew's story about the
absolutely.
case and the fact that he hated it because he got cashed in on twice and it's
Yeah.
useless, and then he's done it. And now that you can start telling that story, that he had that chance, he used that opportunity, he failed. So
It's
proves
it's
again
good
why Money
fuel
in
on
the
the
Bank is
fire.
done.
I
Absolutely.
and
will
then
admit
also,
that.
we're going to skip forward again because we're going to keep within this storyline. But then obviously we get to the post show where he comes out angry as hell because obviously you
Shoves
would
a
be.
ref.
Elbows
Adam
Pierce in the
Pearce.
face.
Wade Barrett, who
Has said that he'd
Gets
like to
iffy.
get back in the ring at some point.
I think there's going to be some Adam Pearce and Wade Barrett fighting on behalf of certain people for a while there to try and keep Punk and because as I said before, right? I said this was it 2-3 months ago. They could wrestle for another. Or not wrestle for another 6 months, and we'd still want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they are drawing it out. They are drawing it out as long as they can because it's really going to be that Rock and Hogan moment in the ring where they're just going to have a face-off for like 10 minutes and not touch each other, and the crowd's going to go mental.
Yes.
And that's what they're building to here. So I get what you're saying. It does take away that excitement,
yeah.
but I
That's
can
it.
see
That's
why
it.
they've done it.
Like I like the story progression, but just not having that excitement for the Money in the Bank briefcase for the next 12 months.
Yeah. It's annoying because I love the
I love
threat.
the Money in the Bank
I love the
briefcase.
thread of the cash in.
Yeah.
It adds, and like you even, I remember was it SummerSlam when EO cashed in, that none of us really cared about the women's title match.
Except
then
that EO
that
was there.
made us
And then
care.
it cashed in like, yes, this is
That
what we
made us care
wanted.
about it.
And so then everyone cares. I think that it'll be the same with the women's one this year, is that I think that this now allows WWE to focus purely on that winner
Yeah.
and then have that person, because I think that person that they've picked to win, it's Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy in the Time.
Tiffany wins it, yeah.
Tiffy in the
I
Bank.
think they all put everything behind Tiffy, and she
Yep.
is the kind of character that can pop up on Raw and tease and be a shit-eating heel. Maybe I'll get you, and then she'll go across to SmackDown. Maybe I'll get you, Bailey.
Yeah.
And then she'll show up on NXT. Maybe I'll get you.
Oh,
And
she'll
Tiffy
be going
everywhere.
for Bailey
It'll be
for
so
sure.
good.
It'll be, I reckon it'll be on.
Sure,
on
but
Bailey,
you could
yeah.
give a good 4 or 5 months of Tiffany just showing up
Yeah.
literally everywhere and teasing it and
Well,
not doing it.
She already. Maybe we'll skip to that match then, and we'll come back to the other one because I know you guys are going to absolutely ream on it.
Don't know what you're talking about, Ted.
So the women's match,
We'll be on
Tiffy
2 matches
won
that we're going to
because-
shit on.
Well, Tiffy's already mentioned in the post
yeah.
interview that she's going to bedazzle it, turn it pink, and she's
right,
going to
she
turn
should.
it into like a purse. So she's going to be carrying that thing around for a while because
Yeah, oh, yeah,
obviously it's going to
absolutely.
be a big accessory for her. So
And
I
Reese
just-
wants a
that
Tiffy in the
ties
Bank
into
shirt.
it.
A hot pink Tiffy Time shirt.
What about a Tiffy in the Bank shirt?
That too. Hot pink Tiffy shirt.
she's not really much of
Get
a
it.
she's not really much of a shirt wearer though, is she?
I'll wear it on her behalf.
Just saying.
I'll get implants and I'll get a wig.
Would you
It'll be
actually?
fine.
Would you do the gold dust that he was going to do and get implants?
No.
Okay, didn't think so.
I don't have
Look,
that sort of
before
spare
we
money.
talk about the match itself, which I think was quite good. It didn't quite have the same spots as the men's, but I think that their spots were more innovative in the women's.
Yeah.
They recovered.
Yeah, they recovered. Well, you said that it was a poor start. I didn't really notice that.
No,
I did. It was a poor start, and then it really recovered, and it got really good.
Ted's just very misogynistic.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. When you flip over the ropes and are supposed to like senton someone, but you completely miss them and just land on the mat.
I didn't see the spot that
it
you're
just
talking
doesn't
about
work.
anyway.
So.
Yeah, we
And
we
also, I
zoned
don't
out.
like one of the things I noticed with them is that they're all quite small, and there were certain moves they were trying to do where I'm like, I'm a small person too, man. I'm 5 foot nothing, right? There's certain moves that you just can't do because you're just too small to do them. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think the way that they've already teased Tiffany's SummerSlam match, and it's Trish Stratus.
Oh, sign me up, mate. Sign me
that.
up.
The post match talk where they had,
Yeah.
about those two toodles. I think that's where that leads, and that's probably good from my sense is that you keep Tiffany away from the title straight away.
Yeah.
Give her something to do so that she doesn't catch
Because
in.
we all expect Nia to beat Bailey at SummerSlam.
Do we?
Somewhat. I expect Nia to win. I feel like winning Queen of the Ring is not her only crowning moment this year.
I expect Bailey to win and then Tiffany to cash in and prove to Nia that because I think they're teasing a Nia Tiffany sort of alliance. I think Nia fails and Tiffany then cashes in and says I'm better than you because I did it, and that
and
turns
then Nia,
Like they're only just starting to like properly build that on TV, and they're just going to go straight away.
It's 4 weeks. There's time. Anyway, to the spots in the match, I think that this had more brutal ladder spots in the sense that some of the suplexes and things that they were doing off the ladders onto the other ladders on the floor, they didn't quite hit as cleanly, and a lot of them hit the edge of the ladders. And that looked really brutal. Was it on this match where one of was it Tiffany that got suplexed onto the ladder standing up?
Yes.
It's on the edge of it rather than on the flat of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the corner.
In the corner, that was a brutal spot.
Well,
Lyra went
the
through
one right
really-
near the end where EO got Zoe Stark from
and
the
she
top
got
of the
pile
ladder,
drived.
and that one was just
That looked brutal.
It looked-
the sell from Zoe as well.
perfect, man.
Fantastic. She needs give her flowers.
Look again, and we know
her
all of the
there
women
was, there was
sold
a
perfectly.
reason
Yeah.
that Zoe and Lyra were in that match, and that was to do what Andrade and Carmelo did in
agreed.
the first match,
Yep.
and they both did fantastic job.
the way that they'd sold Chelsea, and I feel like Cole on that just rammed it down your throats. She's scared of heights. She doesn't like heights. She's scared of heights. She's taking
mentioned
the
it
highest
too many
spot.
times.
Which
the
is a bit
entire
of a
match.
shame when you've seen the footage of her wrestling Penta at Lucha
Oh, yeah.
Underground, and you're like,
Yeah.
she's not scared of heights. So but her trying to hit it down with a ladder and stuff.
That
I
was
thought
very
fun.
funny.
We got some good comedy moments in there, which was
And
really
that
good.
spot of her falling off the top of the ladder through the two tables.
Oh,
It
man.
was executed perfectly.
And as we said before, whoever sets them up tends to go through them. So that was upheld. All right, let's go back to the Intercontinental title match.
Boo!
You guys absolutely hate it. I love the fact that Sami has won because you all know at home that I am a massive Sami Zayn fan.
No, but
I-
so is
am I,
Dan.
though.
But
I'm
so
a
is
huge
Dan.
Sami fan.
I'm going to let the Sammy Mark shit on this match, and I'm just going to sit back and let you guys talk about it.
Am I going to?
Let's just have a conversation between ourselves while he's doing this.
Shut up, Ted, and listen to me. Acknowledge me. Look, we said this at the start. I don't think the Toronto crowd were as hyped for Sammy as we anticipated them to be.
Well, he's from Montreal, and I don't know if you know much about
Stuck
Canada.
outside.
Yeah, not only that, but Montreal's where like Quebec, which is all the French
Canadians,
and
yep.
French
The pompous
Canada
people.
and the rest of Canada don't really get
Canada
along.
is the best
And
Canada.
Sorry.
I'll refute that point to say that the pop that Kevin Owens got, who is also from Quebec, Canada,
Yeah.
was much bigger than what Sammy got.
Yeah. Even
okay,
on
fair
SmackDown,
enough.
Kevin got the ole, ole, ole chance on SmackDown.
Correct.
Sammy got nothing.
I mean,
Do you
Kevin did
think
have
it
a
was-
very emotional
I was going to
story.
say, do you think it was because of the promo and the story he told before?
He got them before the promo started.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. But anyway, back to
Braun
the
versus
Sammy and
Sami
Braun
in the
match.
Continental title.
Braun got new music again. Why? Don't know. Whatever. Def Rebel. Reese was like, "Oh, this is really good."
And then the singing started. I was like,
Yeah, I was the same. I was listening to it and going, dude, this is sick.
And
Oh,
then he
that's
got
not
Def
so
Rebel.
sick. Yeah.
But then, like the shot when he's in the ring and he does this bah! thing, and the scream in the song happened at the same time that he.
Oh,
did
he
that.
timed that well,
I was just
yes.
like, oh,
Yeah.
cinema.
And the only other thing that ruined the match for me was the fact that when he came out and Morgan was watching it with me, and she said, "Why does Braun Breaker look like old mate from the movie Jupiter Ascending?" I think it is. Was it Ryan Reynolds? I'll find a photo
That's
and
not
I'll
a-
show you
that's-
guys.
that's not a
no.
reference I
I'll show you the photo, and she showed me, and I'm like, oh god damn it.
Okay, all right.
I'll take a page out of Lockie's book.
I don't know.
He scored a try in football today, and then he just goes,
Oh, what a celebration, bro. Dry July.
Yeah, and then some other kid got injured in a tackle, and Lockie's like, "Ugh."
Dude, that's the best.
he got, swear to God, he got concussed, this kid.
Sick.
No, it's like
Lockie's just
grade
like,
one. Like the kid was on the ground for a good 2 or 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and then they had to get like the trainer and stuff to help him up. And he got up, and then the kid like stumbled over. Like, oh shit, he's actually proper hurt.
Grade 1.
And yeah, Lockie's just like,
Also, for those watching,
about
it's under 11s, and
Oh.
I was like, "Hey, how about the trainer just grabs that kid, whack him over your shoulder, and walk
Take him off the field.
because he's a kid."
Yeah.
and they walked this poor boy across the. I was like, far out. Anyway,
Anyway, back
to the wrestling.
Bron versus Sammy. We'll try for a third time. Bron versus Sammy. Dan, break it down.
I think that the story they told in this was good. Was that break it down?
No, stop distracting.
Bron came out super aggressive, suplexed Sammy all over the ring, showed how aggressive he was. It's fine. He went for that running spear spot earlier in the match, and then Sammy jumped it, which he did on Raw. But then Bron stopped before the steps because he's learnt. Great, all of the good storytelling. This was all fantastic. But Bron should have won this match, right? The Sammy underdog story is fine. I'm quite happy with that as his character, and that's what he's done. But there was no need for Sammy to win this match. There was zero. Because the story behind Sammy now retaining and going into SummerSlam is what?
Well, maybe
Also,
give him a
the
chance to tell that story, man.
The shitty finish, right? And we'll talk about this in the main event when we talk about that as well. Is that Bron had gone through and they'd done suplexes and they'd done punches, and Bron had like fired himself up. He got all excited. Sammy had gone for a haluva kick and they'd reversed it, and then all this sort of stuff had happened. And then the finish for this was Sammy going for the haluva kick and Bron skipping out, and then Bron going for the spear, and Sammy just kicks him, and Bron goes, "Oh wow, oh that really got me. Oh, I'm so stunned." Bang, haluva kick finished.
shit finish.
It was done.
Hated it.
Well, you built. How long was the match? Tell me, Ted.
That was 13 minutes and 15
Not
seconds.
long enough for an intercontinental title match, right? First of all. But also, that first 10 or so minutes of it had built to what I would have hoped to be a finish. A good, someone hits the big spear, there's a proper finish, there's a blue thunderbomb into a haluva, like it's a prop. That was too much of a Raw TV finish to finish a pay-per-view match for a title. Then I just didn't like it. It felt, we were so flat. When that match had finished, flat. Because I don't think Sammy, I love Sammy. I don't think he needed to retain. I think this had to be Bron's moment. And B, that ending sucked.
Okay.
Over to the defense to now
Well,
plead their case.
I'm not going to defend. There's nothing to defend. I thought the match was good. I also thought the finish wasn't that fantastic. I also need to point out more of the fact of Corey Graves stopped telling porky pies on commentary.
What was he saying?
When he did the blue thunder bomb and he goes, "Oh, the move that's been so successful for him in the past."
He's won one match with it.
One match.
Yeah, one match. Come
And
on,
that was
man.
because he hit it after a haluva kick.
I am, and I know this is because the whole pay-per-view I thoroughly enjoyed. I'll put that out there straight away before we get to the end. And I think it's mainly because I've really shifted my view on them in previous compared to previous shows. Because obviously I've been quite upset in the past with other ones and got a bit, because we overbooked to start with, and we've already talked about that with a couple of times. And I think I've started to get to that whole point of, I know that sometimes not every match is going to be fantastic, but there's a reason behind what they're doing, and just having a bit of patience. Because I know you said, what's the story? What are they going to build to? But for me, I go, well, we've got to wait till Raw, man. Wait, give him a chance.
Just let him cook.
Just let him cook. But I'm just
let him cook.
What would you prefer? The next person just to come in on the ramp like an
No.
AEW and go, "That's the next challenger."
Yeah, no, that's also dumb. I hate that.
There's that middle ground. You've got to give, and obviously we already had the Punk stuff. We've got a thing we're going to talk about with a farewell tour that's going to happen. We've got a bloodline. There's all these other stories that they probably purposely didn't want to try and overshadow.
And I think they've still got Sheamus and they've got Ludwig as
Correct.
well.
So-
I know Ludwig's
Yeah.
it's been announced that he's injured at the moment. Don't know how severe, how long he's going to be out. They've still got Sheamus in the wings at least to
correct.
potentially make it a triple threat at SummerSlam. So
I love that match. I love the idea
but
of the
yeah,
triple threat
I
fatal
was
four-way.
full on sold that Bron was winning that title tonight. And
I thought so too.
Gutted that he did,
I don't think
especially with the way that it finished.
I think you can tell the same story going into SummerSlam
With Bron
with
winning.
Bron as the champion and Sammy chasing as you can with Sammy as the champion. Because what you're going to have now is how does Bron get his title shot again?
Yeah,
Right?
'Cause he
He's
lost
just
clean.
going to
He lost
speed
clean.
fucking people stupid and then
Well,
get his match.
like Reese just said, I think that's now setting up matches with Sheamus, etc.
Yeah.
Potentially Kaiser if he's not injured.
Yeah, have
Or a
burger
returning
after burger.
Ricochet.
No, Ricochet's
Remember?
gone.
Nah, I don't think so.
Ricochet's gone.
Okay, we'll see.
He's gone.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, Ricochet's
We'll,
gone.
I reckon we can
uh,
work. Like we discussed last week.
I think
reckon
you and
it's all
I are
work.
going to ask for an apology from him when Ricochet comes.
I
back.
reckon you said they are still showing him on TV.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm now.
But saying
just-
that, I noticed in the tag team thing that he showed on SmackDown, like the history of tag teams on SmackDown. They showed Edge and Christian, who are gone, Matt and Jeff Hardy, who are both not with the company.
Yeah, they said the Dudley Boys. Yeah.
Dudley Boys, Claudio was there as well,
Yeah,
and I was like,
Yeah.
usually in a Vince world, none of those former talent would have been shown.
No,
Or
not
mentioned
at all.
names,
Not at all. All right, look, fair enough. I think we, you obviously weren't happy with the match. I think that's pretty obvious.
I
You
think
weren't
going forward, I think the SummerSlam match is probably a multi-man match for the title.
Yeah.
And I think
and that's
this-
how Sammy will probably lose it.
correct. But I think the story needed to be that Sheamus has never won it, so he needs to win that to be Grand Slam champion. So that's his motivation. I think Braun should have won this tonight. And so that way, Braun is the champion, the dominant person. Sheamus wants to win for his Grand Slam. Sammy needs to win his title back to prove that he was better. Like he needs it back. He doesn't need to retain it. And then Ludwig needs to prove that he's good without Gunther
And Vinci.
and Vinci. So I think
I
that
think-
was the better story to it.
The
They
way
might
that-
cook it. They might do something good with Sammy. I don't think he needed to win here. I think they built Braun up so strong. I hope they don't drop the ball and make him go back to.
I don't think they will.
mid card.
Feel like the way that they could have gone with this, with Sammy retaining, was that Braun tries everything, Sammy somehow gets out of everything,
Yeah.
and doesn't give up, and then Braun just snaps,
Yeah.
takes
Yes.
out the ref,
I was exactly about to say the
disqualification
exact
win
same
to
thing.
Sammy,
Yeah.
and then that still leads to
like
your
a bit of
SummerSlam
a
feud.
like a bit of a
Yeah.
classic Rock where he just doesn't stop kicking
Yeah.
out no matter what you do,
I
and then
would have
Braun
been
gets disqualified.
Happy
yeah.
for that to be the
Yeah.
finish.
And even to
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
then
that's
that
true.
that definitely
I agree
feeds
with
into that SummerSlam feud that we
Yeah.
expect.
And they painted the story too, saying that Sammy was the wily vet. He's been around for a lot longer. And that Braun was the powerhouse guy who defended the NXT title 17 different times or something. So, like, they painted that Braun was the powerhouse, Sammy was the vet. But the finish wasn't anything that a vet would do. He just kicked him and then hit a haluva kick.
Yeah.
Like, if he had have reversed the spear into, like, a crucifix pin and then caught him for 3, shocked Braun,
Yeah.
I'm all for that finish.
Yeah,
Because it's
okay.
like, oh my God, Sammy, how did he get away with that? This wasn't a Sammy got away. This was a Sammy beat Braun clean.
And the fact that they've been building up Braun to be such a credible force to be reckoned with, and then that, like, it just sucks the life out of his run at the moment.
Yeah, okay, I get it. I get what you guys are saying. I take that on board. I think I'm just being biased because I love Sammy. So, but I also love Braun, and
you
I
can
hope
have
I hope
someone
it
love
also
Sammy
doesn't-
but see the flaws.
No, I get it. I'm just being a little bit one-eyed because I'm like, hey, Sammy. But no, everything you have said is just, I'm like, yep, that's fair enough. And I agree with what you said. I think that finish,
I think a
that you
DQ
suggested would have been
finish
a
would have been
better
much
one.
better.
All right, we'll get on to the main event because then we've got a really big one to talk about after that.
Yeah.
And the main event, I have to admit, I'm on par with you guys. I don't think the finish was great. I think the match was a pretty standard 3-on-3 tag match that you expect.
First of all, I don't think it should have been the main event. Not after
when it's Bloodline, man, it's pretty much getting the main event, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
they're
I
gonna
get
turn
that.
Ty Roman
Bloodline,
back
it was
into at
Cody,
some
but
point.
like with what you had happen, like sure he pinned Cody, shocker, solo pinned Cody. That fell flat for me, and I feel like with what we got with the world title match, and like everyone was expecting Drew to win and then cash in because he said he was going to cash in on the night. Waiting till the end of the show to have that happen, and then you have the closing shot be that stare down between Seth and Punk. That would have been a monster finish to the pay per view.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think and one thing that we've talked about for a while, and a lot of people have said for months now, essentially, is that Solo was going to be overshadowed as the tribal chief.
Yeah.
And I think he's done quite well. I think that his promos, his promo work, the way that he's making everyone acknowledge him, the way that they all took out Paul Heyman on SmackDown the other week, has built Solo up to what he needs to be.
Yep.
They still restrained Jacob Fatu in this match. I think a little bit too much. I know everyone has said you don't want him to go wild because we've seen what he can do in MLW.
He looks awesome.
He looks fantastic. Some of the moves that he does is better than anything that Solo or the Bloodline can do. I get that. But sometimes you've kind of just got to let somebody cook to look fantastic to build the whole match up.
In their first ever WWE match.
the way that he started and he came in and Randy Orton sort of like Lockie was watching with us, right? And we were like, watch this Jacob Fatu guy. He is so good.
Yeah.
And so he just got caught and Randy just threw him over the ropes and then DDT'd him. And Lockie was like, he's not even that good. He's got DDT.
But then he just
Yeah,
pops
but then he
up.
just stands up,
then he
and that was
pops up.
awesome when Randy turned around to do the
Yep.
That
fist and
shot
then just
was so
looks
good.
up, and I thought
That-
we're in the cinematic era, boys. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
Let's call
that
it
was perfect.
Hashtag cinematic era.
Yeah,
That was perfect.
and the
Yeah.
the look of it, and you can see it now that we know that he is nephew of Rikishi and Umaga.
Yeah.
Like you can see that Umaga with the.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
it's just like he's gonna destroy this guy, like, and it's Randy Orton. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and you were scared for Randy.
But then what did he do?
Not a lot,
But he got a
again,
few
you
good
already said
spots in
why.
there. And
He had
like
some
I think,
small
like
drops.
even with what he did, I know you said it wasn't quite enough to what he should have gotten.
Yep.
Even with that, he still outshone the rest of. The
He did,
bloodline.
absolutely. Yeah, he did. But and that's what we've said from the start with this bloodline is that Tama Tonga is the worker, right? He just gets in there and he looks really good and he sells.
Yeah.
Solo was that for Roman for a
Yeah.
long period of time. So I think he needs that. He doesn't quite have the Roman aura just yet.
No, I did notice he was a lot more slow and methodical
Yes,
with what he was doing
agreed.
in the ring.
Yes.
Solo.
But I think that they needed to give a bit more to Jacob Fatu. And like I've said to you, Reese, when we were watching, I would love a Jacob Fatu, Kevin Owens main
Slobber
event.
knocker.
Give me 25 minutes of those two, just going hard. That
Oh,
would be
dude, I thought the exact
Oh.
same thing when they were facing off a couple of times. I thought we 100% need Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu.
Just that starting shot before the match had even started.
Yeah.
Like just Kevin staring down at Jacob, Jacob just staring up. Like
It's
that
like-
just like breeds
Oh.
that tension.
And the crowd was so much behind Kevin. It was absolutely awesome.
sure.
The fight, Owens fight.
I-
really cheering him on, and especially when he was beating on Fatu.
Yeah, and
It
he kept
was-
punching and punching and
Oh,
punching.
mate,
just
it was
kept going.
classic KO.
What I thought was a great little spot where it sort of proved our point here was when Solo ran and did the hip attack to KO in the corner. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a good one.
And then
Jacob did it.
did
Yeah.
it. You just like,
Oh,
I nearly killed him.
dude, the way he hit that turnbuckle, and you're like,
I'm
I think
surprised it
Kevin's
didn't
dead.
break off.
Yeah, he hit that thing with so much force.
I just wanted a bit more of that. I wanted a bit more emphasis. And the finish,
Yeah, I get it.
I really
At
liked
the
the little
end.
whisper in the wind that he did. I did not expect someone of
Yeah.
Jacob's stature
Yeah.
to do that.
and he
But that was
nailed it.
great.
It was
Yeah.
perfect.
Great to see.
I just wanted more from the finish. So the same thing that we said with the Sammy one was that the finish felt flat. I'm all fine. I fully predicted the Bloodline to win this.
Yeah.
I fully predicted Solo to pin Cody because that's what's going to be your SummerSlam match.
Yeah,
But it was super kick into
RKO.
an arc. Before what Solo had taken was a super kick into an RKO into two crossroads before Jacob then broke it up.
yeah.
And then the actual finish to the match was Cody Rhodes copping a super kick and one Samoan spike, and then we're done.
Yeah.
And it was just flat.
Yeah.
Like if
the
you
other
wanted to-
the other bit that was a little bit moment similar to what happened in the title match was when Tonga Loa went to low blow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, do it twice.
And
Yeah.
obviously was trying not to punch his brother in the face, so didn't really put as much effort into it. And I don't think Kevin realized he had been low blowed, so he
Yeah.
had to go for a second one. And I think he actually did catch Tama Tonga in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, look,
I just like if that finish was then Solo picks Cody up and then Fatu hits one of a move and then
Yeah.
he spikes him again. Cool. You had to destroy Cody here. I don't think they destroyed him. They beat Cody.
no, I get you.
but like this
Didn't take
this
him out.
wasn't the dominant bloodline that they're trying to sell us that this is.
Okay.
They could have upped it. You go from like a 7 to a 9.
Yeah.
Just boop.
Yep, I get that. No, I'll take that on board too. Because I mean, I actually thought out of all the matches, that was probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
it was
which is
paid by the
weird for
numbers.
a-
Especially after the show was done, it was
Main
just
event?
like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I really feel like
Because I thought maybe at the end when nothing really happened.
Hikuleo.
No, but I thought maybe
Roman.
are they going to get the ring and then out comes that was my,
Ladies and gentlemen.
that, you know, and
take
no,
it.
not with Paul because obviously he's been taken out. But that's what I thought maybe was because it was such a lackluster ending. Oh, Roman's going to come down the ramp or something.
Yeah.
And then it was nothing, and it was like, oh,
Dan had a real. Should I just let you tell it?
If you want to. Yeah. So my
Dan's
prediction
theory.
for how they bring Roman back is we're going to build now your Solo and Cody for SummerSlam. Okay?
yeah,
And everyone's saying that, well, Roman's probably going to be due back before then. So what you have is you do it as a contract signing because WWE loves that shit, right? You have your contract signing on the SmackDown before SummerSlam.
Go home show.
The Go Home show, and you've got Cody and you've got Solo, and they're face to face with each other, and they're ready to go. And
then-
but you can't touch each other. You're not allowed to fight until SummerSlam, and they're both like right ready to do it. And Roman's music hits.
Do it again. Do it again.
Do the music. and so then we have our tribal chief, Mr. Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And he just walks to the ring.
No, can he just come in and Superman punch the both
No,
of them in one go?
He walks in and he stands in the middle.
Yeah, so
And
they're
he
looking
looks
at each other.
but he looks.
Well, let's recreate it. I'm Roman, right?
Right.
So here we go. You
And
gotta come in. So you two,
We
hang
come
on,
in?
let me. I'll
Fuck,
go. I'll
Let me get you. Let me get you.
I'll hide behind you.
Oh,
Yeah, you-
dedication.
And then Roman looks at Cody, and then he looks at Solo, and then he looks at the camera, and the show ends. And you're like, but the point of that is, who does Roman go for?
Yeah.
Is he going to take out Cody because Cody took his title? Is he taking out Solo because Solo is now the head of the table? What is Roman doing? You don't know. And then you go into that SummerSlam
Yeah.
match.
And it can go any way.
Who knows?
Perfect. Yeah, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be obvious. Which, you know,
Which this main event was.
yeah, okay. Well, look, let's get on to the really big surprise, which was ruined for you by yourself because you obviously went on social media like an idiot. The man who you can't see, John Cena, was introduced by Trish Stratus. And we were all thinking the same thing. We're all thinking, why is John here? Then he pulls out his little customary towel. What was the words again? It's,
The last time is now.
yeah, the last time is now.
And
it was
as
like,
soon as that, I was just like,
Oh my God, I'm crying.
my eyes were welling up.
And then you could see the same thing on the back of his shirt. He had a door with, after this, you can't see me.
And
And
then
it
at
was
the bottom, it was the last farewell tour.
Yep. And then I couldn't see until after he did all these bits that on the shirt it said 2025, which made me go, oh, okay, not just
Yeah,
yet. It's
yeah.
it's you know it's and obviously he went on to explain and showed his amazing skills on the mic. Like I think he is untouchable when it comes to hyping up a crowd.
Absolutely.
He was just like I started to cry the way he was talking.
I think that means all three of us did
Oh,
during
man.
that segment.
He's just such a he gets the pacing right. His tone's always correct. Like there were slight moments too where he went a bit Cody, where you could see the emotion almost overtook him.
Yeah.
And he let that show just enough, but didn't let it overtake him. But yeah, he essentially announced that it is his farewell tour. Now he later explained at the press conference, because he did also say in that promo that he would answer all these questions later on.
He answered a lot of questions.
He did, and he kept
Next
answering
question. Go on,
questions.
keep going.
But first of all, it will be his last WrestleMania. It will be his last Royal Rumble. It will be his last Elimination Chamber. However, WrestleMania will not be his last match. So, as far as we're aware, he's planning to pretty much wrestle all the way through
Till
2025.
Yes.
He said.
Look, I don't mind this at all. I think this is pretty awesome. We know John's got a lot of acting gigs that he does now, and I think he's looked at it now and finally gone, I need to shut the door on my wrestling career so I can give full time to acting and not worry about them thinking that I'm going to go away for a bit and get injured or
And
whatever
he
it
always
might
had
be.
said that he was going to retire by 50, and he's
Yeah.
47 now.
And you can just see he can't move as well as he used to. You know, like most wrestlers, when you get to that age, it starts to
like,
catch up with
I think
you.
everyone noticed it at WrestleMania when he was running down that ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot stiffer than he used to be.
He's getting
Yeah.
it.
And
it's
you know,
heartbreaking.
and I think he even said it at the press conference, and in typical, John Cena fashion, where he's just the nicest guy on the planet, and you're like, stop being so goddamn nice and making the rest of us look shit, John. He was saying in there, and not to give shit to anyone else who has retired or is retiring.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to do this my way. I don't want to retire and then come back. I don't want to. I want to do this tour and thank everybody because I am what I am because of all the fans.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Yep.
I want to leave it all in the ring and just leave it.
And he doesn't want to come back
No.
2 years later because it was a fake retirement. He doesn't want it
Yeah.
to be because of injury. He wants this is his time,
Yeah.
and his
He
time
wants
is
to
now.
be
He said that if he does appear after that time frame, he will be in a suit and he will be a fan and he will be an advocate was the word that caught my
advocate.
interest.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
he
like
said
that.
that the jorts are retired, which is a bit sad.
I do find it quite interesting that they chose Money in the Bank in Canada for him to do it, and I guess that was him.
I think he
thanking
just-
Canada, as he said, and being like,
Yeah.
you fans are awesome. Thank you so much."
I think it just lined up in his schedule as well.
Well, yeah, because he said he got a weekend off Peacemaker filming.
Yeah.
I think it was also very interesting that at the same press conference that he's there, you also have CM Punk.
Yeah,
And
well, that's what I thought. I think that's
that
timed
Money
up
in the
perfectly
Bank
because obviously
match.
the history of Money in the Bank with John and him having probably the most famous match at a Money in the Bank pay per view.
Yeah.
But look, I think
Mate, here
the
is where it
timing
begins.
is going to be crazy because obviously in the promo he even mentioned, "I'll be here for Netflix," and he was very adamant about. He mentioned Netflix.
So we
couple
can
of
expect
times.
him on the debut Raw on Netflix.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we can expect hopefully a 12-month run of John Cena.
Yeah.
I think he will be
I'd like to
full-time.
see him at every pay-per-view.
Yes.
If he misses one or two, that's fine.
But even
But like
if-
with the
if
farewell
he-
tour, if they're going
Yeah.
to new cities, he's there. If they're going
Yeah.
to cities that he's already
If it's
been to-
going internationally, he'll be there.
Yeah.
What we hope is that they do some sort of Australian tour next year and we get John Cena for the final time in Australia.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not at the end of May, start of June, because I'm in Japan and
I
I'm
don't
going to
really
miss
care
out on
about
that.
you,
Well,
Sure.
dude, what if he goes to Japan? I doubt it. But anyway,
I'm on a tour, man. I'm booked out.
You'll find time for John Cena.
just make a fake like doll of yourself that
just
someone
give it
can
to him,
carry
it should
around
be
for
right.
you and you just sneak away.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I think they are going to look at this world tour. He's going to go say
Absolutely.
goodbye to all the fans around the world. They're going to sell so much merch. It's not even
So much.
funny.
We're already looking to buy stuff already.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, my prominent saga of growing up was when John Cena came to his like main event peak. Like him winning the Rumble, and then going on to face JBL and winning that title and debuting the Spinner title. That's what when those were my formative years, just after the Attitude Era. I have never gotten any John Cena merchandise. And you know what? The time is now.
The last
time is
Last
now.
time
The
is
last time is now. Dude, I'd be happy to get some wristbands or something. I don't know about the
100%.
Fruity Pebbles shirt, but
I think
maybe
I
some
had one
wristbands.
years ago. Lockie's got one. Lockie's
Yeah.
got a Cena shirt.
Yeah.
Definitely need
The
to
hustle,
get
loyalty,
something.
respect one.
But this is where all the theories and the
The fantasy booking comes in.
Well, I
'Cause,
guess
like,
that's
we've got
so.
what's his last WrestleMania match?
Oh, we
gonna
got
be?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
No, that's all right. We've got. There's a couple of main questions because I think we can. John's going to be around. I think
Yeah.
that's been pretty
Yep.
much stated that, especially
Yeah.
for next year, he's going to be around. So when we get closer to that, we can talk a bit more about who he's going to wrestle and everything
Yeah.
else. But there's two main questions that were asked of Triple H
About this?
about this.
Okay, we missed that, so
And
let's go.
the main question was, will he be a Hall of Famer? Which I thought was a stupid question
course.
because he's like, mate, in my opinion, John Cena is the greatest.
2026
of all
Hall of
time,
Fame,
so
he'll headline.
He'll
Yes.
be in there. But then the next question was, who inducts him?
Who inducts?
So we know he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think that's an absolute given. I think it'll be the following WrestleMania, right after he retires.
42.
Yeah.
But who inducts him?
I just had a
'Cause
bad
this is
one.
really hard.
Brock
really
Lesnar.
bad one.
No, I had a bad idea.
Vince?
The Miz.
Redact- Oh, maybe. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna stick with what I said out there before we
Which
started
was?
recording. Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton is your pick because
What
they.
if Randy's also retired by then?
So.
What if they induct each other?
Yeah. Oh, what if they get inducted at the same time?
Double induction.
And then they throw each other through
Yeah.
a window. And
I
someone
feel like-
fights
So
someone's
Randy's
house.
got one less world title than him, though, doesn't he?
Two.
Two.
Or two
He's
less.
14.
Oh, okay, right. I was going to say maybe if Randy wins it twice before then and they retire both as 16-time
Yeah.
champions.
Well, I mean, the other question before that is, does John Cena win another one? Break the
Does he
record?
break the record? I don't.
Yeah. Well, that was the question that was
Yeah.
posed afterwards, and I don't think he will, but I think it's a great story to have people invested thinking that he might because
In the
obviously
lead up
he
to
said he's going to
WrestleMania,
be at
for
the
sure.
Rumble.
Yeah.
He's going to be at Elimination Chamber, and it gives you reasons to put him into those matches and
Yeah.
have people think, oh my god,
Shit,
he
he's gonna
might.
win
do
it.
I mean,
it.
I don't want to talk about AEW out of turn, but they did this with Sting,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was
They
a
put him
very
out
good
with a
story.
title.
Yeah.
Exactly, and you could have Cena win his last match and not
Win the last
put
match
someone over.
and then
Can I just say the
lay
title
it in the middle of the ring and then walk up that entrance ramp for the last time as a competitor.
Yep, and he's done.
then-
I think if they did that
Goes
with a
to the-
title, it'd be the US title. I don't think they'd do
Yes,
it with a
I think
world
that I
title,
agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think
it'd
he
be
wins
the
a
US
world title next year.
Now, a couple more questions that weren't asked to Triple H, but I want to ask you.
Please do.
Let's go.
Right. So, two matches that I'm going to ask you about with John Cena. One of them is his last WrestleMania, because that's probably, in terms of pay-per-views, the most important.
Uh huh.
Who's his last match at WrestleMania? Number one. Number two, we don't know when it's going to be or what it will be at, but his last match obviously won't be at WrestleMania as long as there's no injuries and stuff. Who has their retirement match with John Cena?
I think this is too hard to think about now because
Well,
like
maybe
my
something to think
mindset
about for
is
the future.
like if it's farewell tour, like part of me is you've got the two trains of thought, right? You've got let's get some like rematches from great feuds of the past. So Cena Orton one more time, Cena Punk one more time, Cena Brock, Cena whoever. Is that what you want to do for his last WrestleMania and retirement match, or do you want to have him hand pick potentially some new up and coming talent that he sees potential in, wants to do a feud with,
I think that's the more likely.
and not have someone get retired, as much as I like it, at WrestleMania by someone that didn't want to get retired by Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle.
Okay, I agree that.
That's exactly what I was thinking of too.
I don't think he puts over the younger people because the problem is the last two times John Cena has tried to put over somebody in a big feud
Put them down.
was Austin Theory and Solo Sikoa, and both of them didn't work.
Yeah.
And I don't
point.
think that's of any fault of John. I don't think John tried to not put them over. I think he did, but the crowd just never took it the way that I guess WWE wanted it to be booked.
And then I guess like the booking afterwards as well. Like no one was ever really on board with Austin Theory at that stage either.
Yeah.
And then like with the Solo Sikoa stuff, like people talk about it all the time. He beat John Cena in Saudi Arabia and then went on like a 14-0 losing streak.
Yeah, true.
You just
I-
beat a 16-time world champion.
I think the WrestleMania match is Punk.
I'd love that.
If you don't
okay.
if Punk's away from the title and you're not doing Punk and Seth or Punk and Cody or something along those lines, if they're all busy, Cena and Punk is the match.
Yeah.
The retirement match,
That's the
that
difficult one
could
for
be
me.
someone like Carmelo or someone that he or Ilya or someone that he picks that you're the last match for me. Or what I would really think about right now is what I would love him to do is maybe around May, June, look at Gunther
Yep.
and say, you.
If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out
I'm
to
going
the
to be
best.
the best.
Yep, okay. That's
And then,
cool.
and
I like
then,
that
but
idea.
then you let him wrestle for 6 months in matches against whoever you want.
Just have
and
open
Gunther
challenges
sits
every
there
Yeah.
episode.
and waits, and then Gunther's beating people or retaining titles or winning titles, doing what
Yeah.
he wants, and then you finally get to December, and then John and
Yeah.
that's when it happens.
Can I give one more prediction? Because
Of course
I
you
agree with you on that because I actually don't really know. I think it's a bit early, but I wanted us to start thinking about
Way
it.
too early.
The only thing I really do hope for, because this is one thing that everyone knows John Cena for, is the Make-A-Wish and the fact that he single-handedly has the most Make-A-Wish wishes, like by 300 or so plus.
Go ask Blake Pavey because he had
Can
one from John
we
Cena.
have a reenactment of his WrestleMania entrance with all the John
Oh.
Cenas, but can we please make it the Make-A-Wish kids? All dressed up as John Cena
Yeah.
down the ramp.
Wow.
In
But
Vegas.
don't tell him you're going to do it. But I've given it away, so if John sees this, but you know what I mean?
'Cause he watches
could
our
you imagine?
podcast.
Could you imagine if they did that and just had a whole ramp of Make a Wish kids for him? Like that would be what?
They're not.
Dude, what are you? Don't say the D word.
Do you know what I think would be maybe even better than that? Well, not better, but like if you want to, I don't think they'd do that as a surprise to John at WrestleMania, right? What I think you could do though is you book a house show in Lafayette, North Carolina,
And just have all the kids
and the entire crowd is every Make a Wish person that John Cena ever had.
as Reese said. If anyway, that's really dark. No, I get what you,
But like,
you
that's,
get what I mean.
It's
there
a
might
terrible
be
thought.
kids that haven't had the wish before.
It's the
but-
Make-A-Wish stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know.
He'll still
Of
keep
course.
doing that though. That's not going to stop.
it's
'Cause
terrible to think about.
Because I mean, you remember when Bianca came out with those kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Like it was really
Oh.
cool. But I think for John, it's really more prevalent because of the fact he's the the world record holder for Make a Wish.
Until Natalia breaks that one too.
Yeah.
I
She'll
think
never
I don't
break
know.
it.
I just that was the first thing I thought with WrestleMania. I thought, man, if they could like line the ramp with
Line the
them all
ramp
dressed
with
as
everyone
John
dressed
Cena.
as John Cena, but then it just turns out it's the entire WWE locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
And then you
that
look at
too.
it and you wait to see who's going to be the future Hall of Famer in like 10 years' time. It's one of them. CM Punk's in there somewhere.
Look, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. I much prefer a wrestler to go out in this kind of fashion, similar to what Taker did, where they had the Last Ride documentary and we sort of knew it was coming.
And to be fair, like what they did with Sting,
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
they called
I
that
prefer this.
6 months out. And
Yeah.
so then every time.
Last
they went
time
somewhere-
Sting's ever going to compete in New York. Last time
Yeah.
in Florida.
Dude, it works
worked.
though.
It
worked.
Like
It
you
worked.
think
And they're
the
doing
last
that,
time
yeah.
John Cena's in Madison Square Garden, that place is going to be packed.
Huge. Yeah. Everywhere he goes, it doesn't matter where he goes, the place is going to be packed.
I'd like
for
to see
John.
some like open challenges throughout the shows as
reckon he'll
well.
do it.
Just
I
like
want him to win the
appearing
US
on a
title.
Raw or a SmackDown. Don't have him contracted to any show. Have him be able to appear on both Raw and SmackDown just whenever he's got time in his schedule. Shows up, open challenge just for anyone. Like similar to what Kurt Angle used to do. Challenge for the gold medal.
He spoke
Like,
that way though, didn't he? When he was doing his promo, it was kind of like whoever's ready. And I've just got to link this before we go. I actually did think he was going to join in for that match at the end and make it a 4 versus 4 for the Bloodline. The way he was talking, and when he didn't, I was a little bit like, oh,
We had talked about who's going to be the 5th person in the War Games.
John.
Could you imagine Cena showing up for War Games?
Yeah, man.
for
I reckon
War
he would.
Games,
I reckon
you
he
want
would.
to put him through that?
Well, I mean, if
He
he
can barely hold it together.
Mate, Randy
for
Orton
a-
got him
in
walk last
if he
year.
comes in last.
Randy Orton couldn't
Randy,
walk last year and
exactly.
he did it.
Yeah, he
point.
sold it. He was just selling his back.
Oh, I don't think he was selling.
Mate, I'd love to see an attitude adjustment off the top of the cage to someone, mate.
As long as he doesn't go with him.
No, let's hope
Tamatonga
not, let's
through a
hope not.
table off the top of the cage
Well,
in a War
that's
Games
it
match.
for our time, gentlemen. We are done talking about Money in the Bank Toronto.
Mare in the Bank?
Hey?
Was it Mare in the Bank for us?
Yeah,
It
man.
was
the
for
bank.
you two. I enjoyed it.
I
enjoyed it.
3 out of 5.
Yeah, I said the same thing off.
I'll give
3
it
out of 5. Like,
3.8,
Okay, fair enough.
just to be different.
so round up.
Just
Just gave
be
it a 4.
Look, let us know what you thought of Money in the Bank, of all the matches we spoke about. What do you think about John Cena announcing his pretty much last time tour? If any John Farnham fans out there. It wasn't his last time, but I think it will be for John. Let us know what you thought of the whole pay-per-view. What do you think about the CM Punk and Drew storyline and where that's going, and Seth now being involved? Are you happy with Tiffy Time holding the other Money in the Bank briefcase and what you like to see from her? Or
Dud 'em
are
in
you
the
happy that Reese is now the holder of the Dud 'em in the Bank briefcase to make up for the fact that Drew doesn't have a briefcase anymore?
I'm going to cash this in to overthrow any game that I've done. So it reverses the
okay,
decision.
okay.
Well, I've got a
we
game
go.
Get ready
coming
for
up.
future episodes.
I have a quiz coming up for us.
You might need it.
You're gonna need
You
it.
might need it. Thank you for joining us here at Down on the Madison Square Garage, around the pool table of relevancy. Thank you, Mr. Daniel Danielson. Thank you, Rowdy
Finish
Roddy
with
Reese. I'm Booker Ted. We're going to finish with the You Can't See Me